Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This week, the president addressed the nation on the tragedy in Colorado and made Aurora his first stop on a 4-day trip out west. Then continued to Reno to address the VFW and to New Orleans to speak at the National Urban League. Back in Washington, D.C., Dr. Biden announced a major joining forces initiative for social workers. The president signed an executive order on education and hosted a reception at the White House to honor the International AIDS Conference. That's July 20th to July 26th, or A Brighter Day is going to come.
Out of this darkness, a brighter day is going to come.
On Saturday, the president spoke to the nation in his weekly address, discussing the shooting in Aurora and calling on the country to stand with those who've been touched by the tragedy.
And if there's anything to take away from this tragedy, it's a reminder that life is fragile. Our time here is limited, and it is precious.
On Sunday, the president arrived for a somber occasion, to visit Aurora and the families and victims being treated at a local hospital. There, he reflected on what he had seen and heard in the days since Friday's tragic shootings, and how he'd been inspired by the people he visited at the hospital.
When you have an opportunity to visit with families who have lost their loved ones, as I described to them, I come to them not so much as president as I do as a father and as a husband. I had a chance to visit with each family. Most of the conversation was filled with memory. It was an opportunity for families to describe how wonderful their brother or their son or daughter was, and the lives that they had touched, and the dreams that they held for the future.
On Monday, the president traveled to Reno to address the 113th National Convention of the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, where he underscored his administration's commitment to our nation's veterans and warned Republicans in Congress not to put tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires ahead of programs for America's veterans.
Those big across-the-board cuts, including defense, that Congress said would occur next year if they couldn't reach a deal to reduce the deficit. Let's understand, first of all, there's no reason that should happen, because people in Congress ought to be able to come together and agree on a plan, a balanced approach that reduces the deficit and keeps our military strong. And today, I am again calling on Congress, pass this Veterans Jobs Corps and extend the tax credits for businesses that hire veterans so we can give these American heroes the jobs and opportunities that they deserve.
On Wednesday, as the president was making his way to the Big Easy, Dr. Biden joined the National Association of Social Workers at their Restoring Hope conference in D.C. to announce a major joining forces commitment, helping social workers gain a closer understanding of the issues faced by our returning troops, veterans, and their families.
For the 1.3 million Americans who have fought in Iraq or Afghanistan, some of the toughest challenges don't come on the battlefield. They come months, even years, after they come home. When Michelle and I started joining forces a year ago, we knew we needed to enhance community-based care for all of our military families and veterans. You have answered that call in an incredible way. You are launching a free online training course for all social workers so they can better understand the unique needs of veterans and military families. The association will also offer a professional credential for social workers who work primarily with service members and their families.
That evening, the president spoke at the National Urban League Convention in New Orleans, Louisiana, where he discussed the African American Education Executive Order that he would sign the next day.
That's why tomorrow I'm establishing the first ever White House initiative on educational excellence for African Americans, so that every child has greater access to a complete and competitive education from the time they're born all through the time they get a career. And that's why we're pushing all colleges and universities to cut their costs, because we can't keep asking taxpayers to subsidize skyrocketing tuition. A higher education in the 21st century cannot be a luxury. It is a vital necessity that every American should be able to afford. I want all these young people to be getting a higher education, and I don't want them loaded up with tens of thousands of dollars of debt just to get an education. That's how we make America great.
On Thursday, after signing the executive order in the Oval Office, the president convened his cabinet for their 15th official cabinet meeting.
All right. The only thing that is going to prevent the vast majority of Americans from not seeing a tax increase next year is if the House doesn't act.
Later, he presented the Purple Heart Medal to Petty Officer Taylor Morris, one of 5 surviving quadruple amputees in recent military history. He ordered medics to stay back until the area had been cleared of violence before attending to his severe injuries.
This is an expression of thanks not just from me, but from the entire United States for your outstanding heroism. We couldn't be prouder of you.
That afternoon, the president hosted a reception at the White House for attendees of the 19th International AIDS Conference, the world's largest AIDS conference. It's being held in the U.S. for the first time in 22 years. To find out more information on any of these topics or to see complete videos of these events, go to whitehouse.gov. And thanks again for checking out your West Wing Week.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.